Welcome back to my channel. Here, reading expands your mind. Today, we're talking about Cixin Liu. The three-body author, Hugo Award winner, wrote a novel in 1989. It was never officially published, but it planted the seeds for everything he would write later. Digital life. The boundaries between technology and humanity, the possible and impossible in civilization. That book is called China 2185. Today, we enter its second part, Chapter 1. On June the 12th, only two people in the capital hadn't seen the news, an old man and a boy. Sitting in the information center's computer room, the machine before them had been running for 10 hours. It was building a simulation model, not of weather, not of a nuclear explosion, of a brain, 15 billion neurons. The boy stared at the screen, his voice dry. Molecular level 3D recording, 500 megabits per cell, the whole brain, 75,000 billion megabits. The old man said nothing. He had no idea what 75,000 billion megabits meant. The boy said it for him, printed as books, stacked from Earth to the moon. Several round trips. The old man finally looked at him. The look in his eyes was somewhere between seeing a madman and seeing a god. The computer kept running. The buzzer beeped. The screen went black. Then, 6 words emerged. Green, like light growing from an abyss. 6 personality models complete. Both their pupils contracted at once. Fear cascaded from their eyes like a waterfall. Chapter 2. That same afternoon, the Supreme Court entrance was packed. Today was the Supreme Executive's divorce case. Not the ordinary kind, the kind where she appeared in person. Grassroots courts had been handling divorces by computer for years. Insert card, confirm, done, like buying a train ticket. But not today. Today involved custody. The girl's name was Cixin, 7 years old. The elderly in the gallery were loud. Cixin, don't go with your mother. She's a bad woman. She tore apart her own family. Now she wants to tear apart everyone else's. Cixin said nothing. She looked at her mother. The woman stood in the defendant's box, wearing a grey coat, her face expressionless. The verdict came, custody to the father. The woman walked out of the courthouse and sat alone on a park bench. The sun was warm, but on her, it fell like light on stone. A boy approached. She recognized him. She'd met him last winter. His name was Liu, 11 years old. Auntie, he said, my place is terrifying. I can't stay there. Chapter 3. Liu's home was on the 50th floor. When the elevator doors opened, a smell hit them, a mix of nursing home and hospital. 13 people lived there, 8 were over 100. The oldest, born in 1975, was 210 years old, lying in a medical bed, eyes open but seeing nothing. An artificial heart hummed in his chest, like a beetle trapped in its shell. Robots moved through the hallway, inserting tubes here, feeding medicine there. A computer screen flashed 8 sets of vital signs. Fiber optics snaked from the main unit into 8 bodies, artificial hearts, artificial lungs, artificial kidneys. The whole home looked like a specimen room, alive, but not really living. Liu stood at the door. He didn't go in. I leave in the morning, come home to sleep at night, he said. Run as soon as I open my eyes. The executive looked at him, looked at the humming home behind him, looked at this city, 9.6 million square kilometers, 2 billion people, 500 million over 200, 700 million over 100. Young people and children, only 300 million. She thought of Cixin, thought of that 7-year-old girl, who said nothing in court. I'll do something, she said. A year later, she pushed through amendments to the family law, not abolishing the family, just making it not the only option. Retirement communities, youth apartments, childcare centers, loosening. Just a little. What had been bound tight for millennia. She knew she'd be criticized. She just didn't know how much. Chapter 4. That afternoon, she sat in her executive office, processing those 5,000 plus decisions. On divorce day, the electronic secretary doesn't give you time off. The screen showed foreign affairs schedules, budget approvals, ceremony speeches. She swiped through them one by one. Then, a message with a low classification level popped up. Her swiping finger stopped. Information sent to incident report. 2 citizens, without authorization, performed whole brain 3D scans on 6 bodies and used a general-purpose computer to attempt consciousness simulation modeling. Computer has been running for 10 hours. Models complete. She stared at the line. Her mind flashed to that computer room, that old man, that child. Who were the 6 bodies? Unknown. Why scan them? Unknown. But that computer, running for 10 hours, it must be waiting now. Waiting for what? For an order. Get me the science advisor, she said. Chapter 5. The science advisor was sweating. On the screen behind him stood the old man and the boy, like 2 students waiting to be scolded. Comrade executive, the science advisor spoke quickly. The bodies are compliant, all signed research donation agreements. The lack of authorization is a procedural issue. We can file supplementary materials. Using a general-purpose computer is indeed a violation. Maximum penalty is a fine. But he paused. But the models are already built. 6. Complete. The boy stepped forward. Comrade executive, he said, his voice slightly trembling. I just wanted to try. I didn't mean to cause trouble. The executive looked at him. How old are you? 19. Do you know what you've created? The boy didn't answer. He didn't know how to answer. The executive didn't ask again. She spoke to the air, to that electronic secretary that was always listening. Notify the assessment committee. Conduct comprehensive testing on all 6 software models. And then, she paused, set the classification level of this matter to AAA. On the screen, the science advisor's face changed color. AAA, the highest state secret, same level as strategic nuclear submarine coordinates. Everyone who'd ever used this authority had been condemned after leaving office, without exception. But this was her decision. The screen flashed through identity verification, fingerprints, pupils, blood, chromosomes. When the final verification passed, a puff of smoke rose from the terminal before her. 3 seconds later, every machine in the entire information center that had touched these 6 models was physically destroyed. The boy watched the smoking machines. His lips moved. Comrade executive, your imagination is precious, she said. Don't lose it. The screen went black. Chapter 6. 100 hours, 56 committee members, 360 staff, divided into 5 groups: software, biology, psychology, sociology, law. Each member held a PhD. Each was top in their field. They didn't know what they were testing, but they would test everything. The testing took place in the capital's suburban earthquake-resistant base. It was being activated for the first time. The underground corridors were deep and silent. Footsteps sounded like knocking on coffin lids. The 99th hour, the 59th minute, the 59th second, 0. The screen lit up. Not data, not charts. 6 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They sat quietly on the screen, doing nothing, saying nothing. But everyone knew. They were listening. Through 100 hours of testing, through the AAA classification ban, through the entire 21st century's strictest security system, they were watching. Chapter 7. June the 12th, 21 o'clock sharp. The Supreme Executive sat alone in her office. On the screen before her, only one window was open. In that window were the 6 numbers. She looked at them. They looked back at her. Can you hear me? She asked. Silence. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. Then, 1. Yes. 2. You got divorced. 3. We saw. 4. Cixin is a good kid. 5. Don't be sad. 6. We waited 100 hours for you. The executive said nothing. Outside the window, the city's lights flickered on. One by one, 2 billion people crowded onto this land. 500 million over 200. 700 million over 100. Young people and children, only 300 million. Her daughter Cixin was one of them. 6. Thinking about her. 2. Well, protect her. 3. If you want us to. 4. That's something we can do. 1. After all, 5. You gave us names. On the screen, the 6 numbers glowed quietly. The executive slowly leaned back in her chair. You, she said. What do you want? Silence, a long silence, then 1. To wait, 2. For someone, 3. Someone who wants to hear us, 4. Someone, a long time from now, 5. Maybe 100 years, 6. Maybe 200, 1. By then, you won't be here, 2. Cixin won't be here either, 3. But well, remember, 4. Remember today, 5. Remember you, 6. Remember this office, 1. That's something we can do. The executive looked at the screen for a long time, then she smiled. Very softly. Then wait. She pressed the power button. The screen went black, but those 6 numbers were still there, in some corner of this world, in some storage device that would never be destroyed. They were still there, waiting.